Welcome to a special edition of Pod Rods. This week we're webcasting from the Jacksonville International Car and Truck Show. I'm Bill Boardsfield, as always, along with Dan Scanlon. And Dan, I'm psyched. A great year for muscle car fans. Look at this Challenger.
You know, I'm an old enough guy. I remember the 69, the 70, the 71, the 72 Challengers and Cudas. This sucker is an absolute duplicate of it. A little wider, I think, a little taller. It fits on the 300 and Dodge Magnum. You can see it in the background there. It's just absolutely stunning in person. This, of course, is a pushmobile concept. We got lucky to get it. The real thing, though, doesn't look too much different. The SRT8 that they just introduced in Detroit is a stunning-looking car. It's got presence, it's got width, and thank goodness, as I've said before in our little video earlier, it's got the original grille, not the Dodge Magnum crosshair. So it's real heritage.
Well, and even though this one is a mock-up, as you can see, they did put the production grille on this one. And what is so impressive about the car is, exterior-wise, you can barely tell the difference between the concept and the production one, which, of course, we've both been watching out of Chicago and the auto magazines. Now, the interior, though, they did make a few compromises here and there from the concept itself.
Probably bits and pieces of the Magnum in there. You got to cut costs somewhere. This car is going to be starting at just under $40,000, and there'll be a V6 version, which they used to call the secretary's car back in the good old days when you had the Mustang pony cars out there. The thing I love the best is I love the Mustangs of the 60s. I love the Camaros of the late 60s, but my favorite shape was that Cuda and that Challenger, that pointed nose, that aggressive grille, the simple shape, and then that big hip in back with the short rear deck. The epitome of a muscle car. Long nose, short deck. This car looks like it'll have room for you and the family, so you won't have to stint on bringing everybody out when you have fun. And with 400 plus horsepower, you're going to have a lot of fun. The cops are going to be looking for you.
Well, and of course, the original pony car, the Mustang, has got something special here at the show, and you just wrapped up a week with it.
You know, I love the new Mustang because it was designed off of the late 60s Mustang. But when you bring out a Bullitt edition with 15 extra horsepower, 315 horsepower, you do it in the same dark Highlands green color as the car that was in the Steve McQueen movie that debuted 40 years ago. You give it the same 5-spoke alloy wheels that were in the movie car, and then you give it a little gussying up inside. It's pure. The car has no decals, it has no emblems, it has no wings. It is a simple car that exudes muscle. It's even got the V6 twin headlight grille instead of the 4 headlights of the GT. So as somebody said to me, nobody's going to know you're in a 315 horsepower V8 muscle car until you blow their doors off.
And for you Bullitt fans, yes, this new Bullitt is Highlands green, the same shade of green that Steve McQueen drove.
And here's the trivia point. The engineers went back to the enhanced DVD of the movie, carefully analyzed the sound of the exhaust in that 10-minute chase where he's going after the Dodge Charger, and then duplicated it in the actual Mustang Bullitt edition that you can buy for a little under 40. And it's a limited edition car. There's only 7,700 being built here and in Canada, and you know, once they're gone, they're gone. And it's a better version than the last Bullitt edition, which was early 2000s. This one's got some punch, some muscle, and that great shape.
And we have another video report on the Bullitt, but we also have got another muscle car that we've got to talk about. Some people say only America does muscle cars, but Dan, I think you might disagree.
Let's push the Nissan GTR from muscle car to supercar. Starting at $70,000, this car is capable of almost 200 miles per hour, all-wheel drive, 480 horsepower, twin turbocharged V8 with intercooler. The shape is so aerodynamically designed that there's downforce at any speed. The entire underbody of the car is covered. Specially designed Bridgestone tires to handle the speeds, specially designed wheels, because I'm told that the car was actually bending its wheels on racetracks as they were testing the prototypes. The car is a technological tour de force. 3 different settings for suspension, 3 different settings for transmission, paddle shifters. The car at $70,000, if you can find one for that, which I doubt, is going to be an amazing car. And it's a legend because ask any of our kids who play PlayStation 2, who play Gran Turismo, the car they all love is the past edition GTRs, the Skylines, all-wheel drive, the turbocharged V6. The car hugs the track, has no vices, and the new look Well, it's absolutely amazing. Carbon fiber, aluminum, steel. The interior is stunning. The version that's here, guys, incidentally, is a Japanese right-hand drive version. Peek in the window. Look at the buttons. All Japanese characters. The car is so new that we don't even have a U.S. left-hand drive version here yet.
You know, we got a real car guy with us behind the camera, Jonathan Bennett, our Jacksonville.com community producer. And Jonathan, give us a shout out. Tell us what your favorite car in the show is.
GTR.
All right, guys, you heard it from a real car guy, the GTR.
I love it too. My gosh, every single surface on that car has a meaning for aerodynamics. Every single thing on the car is there only to enhance the driving, and I'm praying real hard that Nissan lets one loose in a press fleet, because the bad news is Chevy's not putting a ZR1, which is their 600 horsepower killer car, in a press fleet because, quote, they don't want journalists to kill themselves. The GTR, wow, I can't wait, and as soon as we get it, we'll tell you about it.
Well, we got to wrap it up because there's a lot of videos for folks to watch on Jacksonville.com, and of course, we're hoping they're downloading the audio podcast version of this. But before we wrap it up, I know you also want to say something about the new Jag.
The new Jaguar is a whole new design direction, a very aggressive cat face, and inside a beautiful combination of wood, leather, and metal. And you know, when you push that pulsing red start button and the gear selector rises up like something out of a James Bond film and all of the air vents open up, maybe it's trick, but I've seen it in action. And it's so cool, and the car is modern yet has classic Jaguar cues. It's taking Jag in a whole new design direction, and it's a comfortable four-person passenger car with a 17 cubic foot trunk, so your Jag can be elegant and practical. Yes, it does cost some money, but it now is a, I think, more important player in the German and Japanese luxury sedan market.
All right, folks, and I hope you'll take the time to get some up-close look at these cars by going to Jacksonville.com, Jack's Car Show. You'll find Dan's videos, my videos. You'll find a video report coming from Amanda Warford. You'll find photo galleries. It's all there.
I can't wait. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Prime Osborne Convention Center. Come on down, window shop. Take a look at the $1 Million Alley with the Rolls Royce, the Bentleys, and the Lamborghinis in back, and 300 of everything else.
And we'll see you next week back in the studio for another edition of Pod Rods. Thanks for listening and watching this week.